Armor Brand Station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. If you want to watch more Sesame Street, now you can with a Netflix subscription. The beloved children's show Sesame Street is moving to the streaming platform for its 56th season. The save comes after Warner Bros. Discovery did not renew its contract to stream the series on Max. The series will still be available on PBS even after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to end federal funding for PBS and NPR. The show will move to Netflix later this year. After 2 consecutive years of falling homicide rates, Milwaukee's gun violence numbers are again trending upwards. According to the Journal Sentinel, Milwaukee gun violence has risen with 15 homicides and 45 non-fatal shootings dating back to April 15th. While non-fatal shootings still lag behind last year's count at the state, the 44 homicides this year are now outpacing 2024's figures when there were 34 at this time. Clearing the way for a new museum in Milwaukee, the Bronzeville Center for the Arts plans to build the African American Art and Culture Museum on King Drive and North Avenue. Demolition will begin in June at the site of a former Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources regional office. After demolition, the center plans to make the site a green space for community access while planning continues for the museum. So far, the center has raised $35 million for the $55 million project. Federal charges after a fire at a Milwaukee college. 40-year-old Gerald Cotton faces a felony charge of arson of a building using interstate commerce. He allegedly intentionally set fire to a chair on the 3rd floor of the Milwaukee Area Technical College campus on May 13th, causing water damage after the building's sprinkler system was set off. Cotton has a prior arson conviction in the Milwaukee County Circuit Court from a 2015 incident. He is in federal custody and due back in court on Wednesday. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It is rainy, it is gloomy, and I am so happy. But then again, I'm not happy because I cut my grass yesterday and then in about a day or two. Oh, wait a minute. It's not supposed to stop raining for 1,000,000 years. So I'm not looking forward to it. We're gonna keep up with what's going on in the weather. They expected Milwaukee to get about 2 inches of rain. So I'm not really, looking forward to that. But, right now it's 37 degrees.
Humidity is at 99%. No kidding. Barometric pressure is dropping. Winds are from the northeast at about, they're in a southwesterly direction at about 13 miles an hour. So it's a little windy. When you walk in the rain, it gets a little wet. But, they say April showers bring May flowers. What do May showers bring? Exactly. I have absolutely, tall grass. So I'm not looking forward to that. But I got another one. Dear, yesterday it was Dear Giannis. Today, Dear Menomonee Falls. So a story from WISN 12 was kind of funny today because Menomonee Falls residents are kind of mad. They are upset. There was a unanimous decision to reallocate $300,000 to the police department in 2026, and the residents are upset about the potential job and resources cut at the library. So first of all, what I want to ask is how many people in Menomonee Falls goes to the library, number one. Number two, how many people in Menomonee Falls have a cell phone where they can get access to anything they want? Anybody? Number two, mom and dad, you send your kids to 4K for, I don't really understand what reason. You send your kids to 5K, they start learning how to read. They learn letters and all that stuff. Stuff you're supposed to teach them. What exactly is at the library that you couldn't cut $300,000 from it? I'm just asking. Now, I am a lover of books. I love libraries. I think libraries are phenomenal places. Some of the old books we can get away with throwing away and then put in some new books. I'm fine. Y'all want to argue LGBT plus books, pornographic books, sexually explicit books, explicit words, all that, have a section for it. Who cares? Have a section for Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Nazi, anything you want to read, anything you should read, whether it offends your sensibilities or not, put in the library. Some of the older books, yeah, you can put them in one of those places that has glass around it. You can go in and read them and leave. Other than that, I don't know. I ask, what is your budget for your library in Menomonee Falls if you can cut $300,000 from it? Like, what kind of budget do you have? Well, chaos erupted last night following the board meeting, and residents expressed their dissatisfaction. The Menomonee Falls Village Board unanimously decided to reallocate $300,000 from the library budget to the police department in 2026. So what do you think about that? Arlene Fody said, it's not the library's fault that the village board is mismanaged and do not have the money for the police. The board explained the decisions as an allocation of funds is due to the library budget surplus last year. Jeremy Walls, village board president, said, we definitely believe that the library is a great asset for the village. We are allowing the police department to use those funds as they see necessary. So the impact on the funding cuts on the library remain unclear, with Waltz noting the library board will have to make decisions based on the new budget. So here's my question. If you had a surplus and you already have all the books that you wanted and needed, what exactly do you need to do new with the extra $300,000? It's as if I have a household and I make $100,000, and then you told me, hey, last year you had $30,000 left over. Extra. Like I earned extra, not spent it because it wasn't spent. I have an extra $30,000. If I don't have $30,000, will I still be able to pay my bills? Yes. With the budget that I have? Yes. With $100,000? Yes. So where exactly is, wrong word, are Menomonee Falls residents upset about when the money wasn't spent anyway? I don't understand it. Is it a suburban thing? The library board and staff has a chance to build their budget based on funds that have been allocated by the village board. Residents criticize the board's decision, stating it is not the library's fault they mismanaged. There's no mismanagement. There's no, oh, we don't have any money, we've fallen out. Oh, now, if y'all would stop people from coming to Menomonee Falls and being in Menomonee Falls and committing all these crimes, you wouldn't need so much police in the first place. Right? Because that's what police are for. So you can't complain, crime is picking up and I don't want to do something, and then turn around and say, yeah, but we're not going to have the police. It's either one or the other. You get one or you get the other. You don't get both. And so right now, you don't need the money. The money can be reallocated. The library board for the village of Menomonee Falls is scheduled to meet tomorrow, potentially providing a preview of the budget changes expected in 2026. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, for the police. Because the police now had to deal with all the crime that's picked up in the shoplifting, and they have to create substations at various locations like those big box department stores. Why? Because people keep going up there and stealing, walking out the front door, committing theft, committing robbery, breaking into cars. And this is just random stuff I see on the news. This isn't the police report and the police blotter I get where people have been arrested and crimes have been reported. Because if you do that, it'll be significantly more than you think. And so you can't get mad. But they're reallocating money that's extra. And so whoever wrote this story for WISN, who was it? TJ Dysart? There's no cut. They're not cutting funding. It's a surplus. They reallocated it. There's no cut. Like, what is that? And they probably didn't take all of the surplus. But this is the type of reporter we have nowadays. And I'm not bashing Mr. Dysart. I'm assuming it's a Mr. Has a shirt and tie and all that. But anyway. I'm not bashing the reporter, but learn how to write your story better. There are no budget cuts. They reallocated the money. That is not a cut. You did not need the money. But whenever something that's quote unquote nonprofit or doesn't generate revenue for themselves, and I'm sure they do, people pay fines and get books and all that stuff. That's fine. But you reallocated it. It's not a cut. But that's the idiocy of how people think today. That's the idiocy of how MPS thinks. That's the idiocy of how the police departments and fire. Oh, they're cutting our fund. They're not cutting your money. That was never yours. All I can say to people in Menomonee Falls is, dear Menomonee Falls, you ready? You ready? Welcome to Milwaukee.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Experience some of the most cherished popular music of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound, May 23rd through the 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Byron Stripling will lead the MSO and an exciting trio of vocalists that include Broadway superstar Chester Gregory, Ashley J., and Brick Liam in a musical sojourn of hits made famous by legendary talents such as Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and The Temptations. Songs like My Girl, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and I'm Coming Out will come alive in fun and stylish arrangements that are sure to have you dancing and humming along in your seat. Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound runs May 23rd through the 25th only. So lock up your tickets right now by calling the box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I have a question for y'all, for us's out in, everybody in Truth Nation. First of all, what's going on? How's it going, everybody? Can black people do what white people do? Because I've seen people have jobs and lose jobs because they did stuff they saw other people do. And I kind of remind them, I know we like to act like and think we actually can do stuff, but these are things, and I know we have white listeners and all that, and I'm not. When I do things like this, I'm not racializing it. I'm just making an observation that's been prevalent in the black community, but we never really voice it. So sometimes I get a call from people like, "Hey man, you airing our dirty laundry." That's everybody dirty. I don't know if it's dirty laundry, but at some point we need to kind of deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And so I was looking at this story out of Chicago. I don't know if you heard about it. The Chicago mayor is taking a little heat. The Justice Department has decided to investigate the mayor after remarks about hiring black officials. But when you hear what he said, he didn't say what they're accusing him of saying. So this is from NBC News. Ryan J. Riley and Zoe Richards on their digital platform, NBCnews.com. /politics or whatever it is. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Division said today that it was opening an investigation into the city of Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's comments Sunday, highlighting prominent black officials in his administration. Hermit Dillon, Assistant Attorney General, wrote a letter to Johnson, posted on X that she had authorized an investigation into whether Chicago was engaged in a pattern or practice of discrimination. So now white folks are using what black people have said in the past. And so now that Trump has removed the liability piece for if you do it and it's not real, but you're still liable, they removed that. So now I guess they're going. He made some remarks at a church on Sunday. Dillon wrote, "Is this kind of hiring decisions that are made for top level positions? If these kind of hiring decisions, I'll get it right, are being made for top level positions in your administration, then it begs the question of whether such decisions are being made for lower level positions." Well, that's kind of dumb. But anyway, here's the deal. Johnson said in remarks at the Apostolic Church of God down on 63rd Street in Chicago that the deputy mayor, the chief operations officer, the budget director, and others are all black people. Johnson said of his detractors criticizing him by saying the only thing he talks about is the hiring of black people. No, what I'm saying is, and this is a quote, "When you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else." He added, "Having people in my administration that will look out for the interests of everyone, and everyone means you have to look out for the interests of black folks because that hasn't happened. That's how we ensure long-term sustainable growth." Johnson also criticized the Trump administration's efforts to wipe us out of history. Black folks will be here in this city and in cities across America protecting this democracy, protecting humanity, because that's what black people have always done. The mayor's office said in a statement that Johnson is proud to have the most diverse administration in the history of our city. So I find it interesting that first of all, you have any comments on it? 833-212-1017. Can black people do what white people have done all along? Could I move to Menomonee Falls and readily find a job in administration that's outside of something that's public service, police, and fire? And then would I have a tough time getting a job then? I don't know. But it seems like when white people hire white people, they hide behind they're the most qualified. And for me, I'm hearing the most qualified person is always a white person. That's the assumption. I've felt that way my entire life. In the 60s, when I really didn't know who I was, and the 70s, as I grew into a teenager, and the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s and the teen thousands, and now in the 20s. I feel the exact same way. Let me not speak for we. I have always felt that when white people hire white people, and I know the person is not qualified, and they hire them anyway. You know, that is the equivalent and just as bad as hiring a black person that is not qualified to do a job and you hired them because they're black. I think it's idiotic. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Can black people do what white people do? Can they? Because I've seen people get fired for it. I've seen people get criticized for it. And we're seeing it right now. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of the Chicago mayor. He's a socialist. I am not a socialist. I believe in a democratic republic. I believe in being able to make as much money as I want. I believe in allowing other people to make as much money as they want, as long as it's legal. And I believe you should become a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, or do whatever you want to do as long as it's legal. I believe of all the countries in the world, this is the one country in the world where you can actually make it happen. Yes, there's racism. Yes, there's all that. But I'm going to tell you, I don't love money the way other people seem to love money, but I would rather be a little stressed and a little worn rich and wealthy than not stressed, not worn, and dirt poor. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt, don't want it. Ever. And that's one of the things that drives me. right? Having grown up so poor that I have resolved that I will never, ever, ever do that and try to make as much generational wealth as I can. So 2-3 generations from now, 4 generations, when I'm dead and gone, my picture's on the wall saying, thank you, great, great, great grandfather. That's all. But to say when a black man hires black people, it's bad. Had he hired all white people, you'd have been okay. Or hired all white women, you'd have been okay. What if he hired all black women? Why is that a problem? Because if that's the case, then we need to start doing that in all the cities that have predominantly white mayors who hired white people. Let's start some discrimination investigations into them too. Because now what I'm hearing is that you don't think black people are smart enough to work in the city administration anywhere. That black people aren't qualified to hire other black people. And when white people hire black people, many times they hire black people that reflect them. Just like black people, when they hire black people, they hire black people that reflect them. The word goes out about a job in their circle. The word goes out about a job in their acquaintances. And that's just how life is. That's just how life is. Life is like LinkedIn. The people you know, the second level of people you know, the third level of people you know. And most of those people are kind of like the same people. Most of the people on LinkedIn have bachelor's degrees, masters, JDs, MD, like they're professional people. So what are you saying? If I draw from a certain place, then it's discriminatory? Or if I put out a ad that I want to hire somebody and black people respond and get the job and they're the best person, you're saying that's questionable. White people do it every day and never think anything of it. There is absolutely, I am positive of this, and I would hope I would be proven wrong. I am positive that if I apply for a police chief job somewhere in Wisconsin outside of Milwaukee County, I'll have a heck of a job getting that job because somehow they'll figure out a way that I'm not quite qualified. So if you're in an area where crime is picking up outside of Milwaukee County, and me working in Milwaukee County for at Milwaukee Police and State Fair Park for a total of about 29, 30 years, if me doing both of those is like equivalent to working 50 years in a suburb, the traffic stops, the arrests, the going to court, the testifying, the police reports, the traffic accidents, the calls for service, we do in a day what many cities do in a year. Unless you self-initiate, which now people have said, you know, cops are more like, I don't want to do that because I'm going to just end up getting myself in trouble. Somebody will complain. And we'd rather believe the criminal than the police officer. And in some instances, the cops are wrong and they deserve to be punished or go to jail or whatever. What are we doing? What exactly are we doing when we allow these types of things to happen? And so who's going to look into the Justice Department? I hope the U.S. House of Representatives and the senators look into the Justice Department and go, why are you investigating somebody who made statements, you ready, that you don't like? Like if anybody mentions anything black, then if that's the case, you ready? If you don't want to hear race, I don't want to hear ethnicity. I won't call myself an African American. I don't want to hear about you being Italian. I don't want to hear about you being Polish. I don't want to hear about you being German. I don't want to hear about you being Asian. I don't care. Cut it all out. Remove it from the entire lexicon of American language. Just get rid of it. We'll see how far that goes. We'll see how far that goes. Now, I get not getting rid of gender. But at some point, you got to get rid of that too. I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't really get it. I don't understand why people are so upset at a black man speaking his mind. I don't understand why people are upset about a black man saying, I hired black people. I hired people, and I think that's what happens. When you hire good people, they work well. And so when you speak up and say, hey, I'm proud to have hired, and now you get mad because it's a black person, how dare he do that? Is that how they hire down? You think the mayor bothers? I mean, granted, every single mayor has patronage jobs that they give out, right? That's my dude. You know, you supported my campaign, you my chief of staff. It's a patronage job. You're going to do this. I'm going to have you head this city agency. You're qualified, but you also my girl, right? That's what happens. That's what the president did. He hired all of his friends, all the people that gave him money. They're called cabinet members. Some of them are qualified to be cabinet members. Some of them, I don't know. I don't know. But at some point, the question still remains, can black people do what white people do? Because my response to the question is, hate to say it, no. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazaga.
Dealing with two lanes blocked, the two left lanes blocked on eastbound 94, right about at 20th Street, where we're seeing an accident, and that's got things backed up all the way back to 84th Street. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound side slowing down from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, cloudy, more showers, breezy with a low of 46. Tomorrow, cloudy, breezy, and showers, cool with a high of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga of 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Impressions will exceed Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. They've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers winning their second game in a row on Monday night in Game 1 of their 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. This one by a final score of 5-4.
The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. It'll sneak into center field. A base hit for Contreras. Streaking around third is Terang, and the Brewers lead it 5-4 here in the 8th.
With the win, the Brewers improved to 23-25 on their season. Next up is Game 2 this evening. First pitch is set for 6:40. Over to the NBA, where Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is set to take place, tipping off at 7:30. It's the Timberwolves visiting the Oklahoma City Thunder. And lastly, over to the NFL, where a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 LA Olympics is expected to pass Tuesday's league meeting in Minneapolis. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I don't give a damn. Ooh, he said a bad word. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Before the break, we were talking about this whole, can white people do what black people do? Always. But can black people do what white people do? I say no. 833-212-1017 is the number. Vincent, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Oh, doing well. Good evening, Dr. Ken.
Good evening.
It's a rainy day in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to say, I don't know if you were on the police force when Chief Arthur Jones was chief of police in Milwaukee.
Yes, I was.
And I think it was 1 year that he had a group of promotions in the department.
Yep.
And after that, several white officers
17 white lieutenants.
Sued the department and Arthur Jones, saying they were discriminated against. In fact, the fact they won, they sued.
Right.
And even though that Arthur Jones, at that particular Chief Arthur Jones at a particular time, promoted more white police officers than anyone else.
Right. But let me also add. Let me also add that the city did probably one of the absolute worst jobs at defending the city I've ever seen in my life. It was terrible. And the chief was working off of state statutes 165 and 175 that gives the chief of police of a Class A city all the power to promote who they want. They sued and they won. There was absolutely no reason why they won. And I know some of those lieutenants, and I'm embarrassed to have called some of them my friend after they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so certainly, you know, when you talk about the mayor of Chicago, we talk about the mayor of Chicago and what he's trying to do. The fact is that the narrative that's coming from the Justice Department and its administration, it's not because you hire black people. What they're trying, the narrative is they're trying to pull is that black people aren't qualified for jobs. And that's the narrative that's being played around this country at this particular time. Is that why are you hiring black folks anyway? Because they're not qualified. And then you do things not to send African black folks to try to get educated or trained or whatever.
Right.
You're trying to stop that.
Right.
And then you're going to sit back and continue with this narrative of why you're hiring these black folks when you need to be hiring white folks. And the fact is, it goes against the grain of when we've always said, and black folks always said, is each one teach one. The fact is, you want to try to promote individuals that are qualified, especially to help our race improve. And so this is a point of that time in this country where you have an administration that's definitely bent on trying to stop black progress in this country. Slowly but surely, they're trying to stop. And this is the narrative that they're pulling: is that when you hire black people, they're not qualified. And so when you see what they do, especially from the Department of Justice, this is what's going to go on. It's going to continue to go on under the next 4 years.
That is true. That is so very true. Thank you much. Appreciate you. 833-212-1017 is the number. Winky Blue, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good afternoon to you, Doc.
What's up?
I'm listening to this here conversation you have, and it's a good conversation. But I'm under the contention and the belief that a man don't have to say who he finna hire. When white folk get ready to hire folk, they don't go say, I hired all white. When the Mexican over at El Rey hiring all them people, me and you put an application in, we can't even get hired. They got these new schools popping up. We put our applications in. Matter of fact, I had 2 girls go to 2 different locations and try to apply for school back in September. They were denied. They don't put out, I'm hiring nothing but Mexicans. I'm hiring Mexicans. We do this to ourselves because there's no need for us to make a broadcast that we hire nothing but blacks. But we do that because we feel as though we're participating in the black cause, the black movement. And for many of us, that's all we do. That's the reason why we're married to the Democrat Party, because so many of us only have that vote. And we feel as though we played our part as a black coalition, a black conglomerate in a voting movement. And we did something. And in the process, it is hurting us, man. I'll never tell a person, I'm just hiring black. But how black folk, they all hired, they all driving. So that's it. I'm not finna go, I got a black business. What are you doing it for? We ain't got to do that, man. And we can move, we can jam harder if we be quiet. We have to use the Trojan horse concept. And I mean, that's just my perspective. But it seems to be a pretty awkward one if you look at other people. And with that, Dr. Ken, that's my truth.
Thank you much. I appreciate it. 833-212-1017 is the number. Do you believe, I mean, when we even taking it a step further with what Winky Blue said, when we talk about a black business versus a business. Are you running a business or are you a black business? We have all these things in the state of Wisconsin that says if you are interested in running a business, all you have to do is, just check the box that says MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. And ta-da! So why not? I mean, but is it advantageous to be a minority business enterprise? You're just checking boxes for the state, checking boxes for the government, and then you get relegated to this project has 10%, and that's all you get. Why can't I go for the 90% and hire someone else to do the 10%? but that's not what we do. 833-212-1017 is the number. The caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Well, good, Doc. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I think that this individual deciding that he wants to, that's his choice, is, and particularly in a city of the size of Chicago, there are probably likely 10 times the number of people that this mayor hired that happen to be black that are also qualified. And so when, you know, he decides to state that he did what a lot of people do, because I think in this current Trump administration, there's one black person, and black people said they were going, and I've heard the individual who was just online, Brother Winky, our friend, talk about having a seat at the table. There's one person in this cabinet full of people who have no experience and a whole lot of lack of qualifications when they're questioned by Congress. As an example, RFK canceled a program that was authored by his aunt that he didn't even know was authored by her, which shows how much research.
But does it matter that it was offered by his aunt?
No, I'm saying someone had to tell him that, which shows he was canceling things without doing research on these things.
No, but does it matter? But does it matter that it was run by his aunt? I don't know about that.
That part made him look very stupid.
Let me ask the question before you answer it. Does it matter that his aunt started the program or that he canceled it?
In my opinion, that underlined how little research he did, because someone had to inform him that his aunt authored this program and that thousands of people were fired based on him canceling it, and then they had to rehire him and a whole lot of other. Him, Seth, there are a bunch of people who are white.
Nobody's perfect. With all due respect, with all due respect, nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect.
I'm saying there's a difference in perfect and like you.
I'm saying hold black and white people to the same standard is what I'm saying. Let's not point out one, but then when black people do it, give them a pass. That's all I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is this individual, this mayor in Chicago, if he just went around and picked out some black baseball manager to take a job in politics, kind of like Linda McMahon has a job that she definitely isn't qualified for, then, you know, it would be bigger news. I'm saying this is normality for mediocre people who are white to get jobs that they. So in that way, the answer to your question would be no. We didn't steal this country, so no, we can't put unqualified. The whole farce that unqualified black people get jobs that they don't deserve very often, and particularly if it's a black person in charge, he's setting himself up for firing if these people are not qualified really quickly.
Well, one of the things they have to do is look at what the mayor is able and able not to do. Like, does that mayor have direct hiring for those jobs, or is it that you have to hire through the city in order to get hired for those jobs? Some of those jobs that got stated were hired through the city. So the mayor doesn't have appointment power or privilege to appoint that person. If you're the city budget director,
do you believe or not that he has influence on the people who do make that decision?
Everybody does.
To make sure that
everybody
if he wants to be the first, I'm saying maybe one of his missions was to be the first black mayor of Chicago who hires all black people underneath him.
But do you think that would be fair if white people did it?
It is not fair when anybody does it if they're not qualified.
So then that's wiped off the table.
If they are qualified and you want all white people around you, they should be.
There's no but if it's not correct, it's not correct for anybody.
No, I'm not saying that if Donald Trump, for example, found people who were capable, that like if he could find a white Condoleezza Rice, someone with her qualifications, to put in his cabinet, which he did not. But
that's different. That's different because he has the power to do that because all those positions are advisory and appointees. So he has a right to do that. So you can't question that. What they're questioning in Chicago is people that got hired through the city aren't qualified. I don't know if that's the case. I think the Justice Department is barking up the wrong tree in this. And it has nothing to do with race.
I agree with you there because I think he definitely vetted these people and made sure that they're probably overqualified.
He didn't vet anybody. He shouldn't have vetted anybody. That's the whole point.
I'm saying he has information about them from the sources of people who would hire.
He shouldn't. The city hired the budget director. They're hired. They're your budget director. You should not have any input on who that person is, because that person is the person that checks you when you do something with the budget you're not supposed to. So that's why it's not an appointed position. Some position, like if you want to hire somebody to be the budget director for the police department, the chief don't get to choose them. The mayor don't get to choose them.
Kind of like putting in a Supreme Court judge who you believe is going to vote the way that you want.
But that's an appointment. Again, you're mixing. No, I'm not. It's not. It's an appointment. Every president
but they do
has
still have to go through a process of dealing with the legislature.
Again, when you're in charge of the legislature, that's what happens. Democrats did it. Every single person that's Democrat got there because Biden, when he had a Democratic House and Senate, put them in, and they got in. It's the same for both sides. You can't bash for one.
No, it's not the same. Let's talk about when Obama was president. At the end of his second term,
I got to roll.
At the end of Obama's
call me back later. I got to roll. Give me a call later. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day. This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Yes, I'll say it out loud. I'm not a Anita Baker fan. But I said it last time, and the talking text line blew up. I thought y'all was going to come down here and shoot me. Well, you got to be so violent. Y'all the ones being violent. I'm going to come down there. Anyway. 833-212-21017 is the number. Curly Q, be quiet. Anyway. After my top 5 at 5, I'm going to go through the talking text line and see what y'all got to say and what y'all hollering about and all that stuff. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me see. I harassed Menomonee Falls. Talked about why black people can't do what white people do. I've had people that use their corporate cards when they was at work and they saw white people do it and pay the company back. And I told them they probably had a side deal with the company and they asked the company could they do it and their boss said yes. What you can't do is unilaterally go off and do stuff and then wonder what happened. Because it's fraud. It's misappropriation. And so misappropriation is not stealing money. Misappropriation is using money in another place. Even if you replace it, if there's no record of it, it's misappropriation. So if you just tell people and have something filled out, say, hey, this is what it is, second person signed off on it, all good. But if you don't, you get the 4-letter word. You know what that 4-letter word is? Jail. Top 5 next.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth. From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser.
I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. If you want to watch more Sesame Street, now you can with a Netflix subscription. The beloved children's show Sesame Street is moving to the streaming platform for its 56th season. The save comes after Warner Bros. Discovery did not renew its contract to stream the series on Max. The series will still be available on PBS even after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to end federal funding for PBS and NPR. The show will move to Netflix later this year. After 2 consecutive years of falling homicide rates, Milwaukee's gun violence numbers are again trending upwards. According to the Journal Sentinel, Milwaukee gun violence has risen with 15 homicides and 45 non-fatal shootings dating back to April 15th. While non-fatal shootings still lag behind last year's count at the state, the 44 homicides this year are now outpacing 2024's figures when there were 34 at this time. Clearing the way for a new museum in Milwaukee, the Bronzeville Center for the Arts plans to build the African American Art and Culture Museum on King Drive and North Avenue. Demolition will begin in June at the site of a former Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources regional office. After demolition, the center plans to make the site a green space for community access, while planning continues for the museum. So far, the center has raised $35 million for the $55 million project. Federal charges after a fire at a Milwaukee college. 40-year-old Gerald Cotton faces a felony charge of arson of a building using interstate commerce. He allegedly intentionally set fire to a chair on the 3rd floor of the Milwaukee Area Technical College campus on May 13th, causing water damage after the building's sprinkler system was set off. Cotton has a prior arson conviction in the Milwaukee County Circuit Court from a 2015 incident. He is in federal custody and due back in court on Wednesday. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I heard my dear Giannis got retweeted by ESPN and everybody saying how crazy I am and how stupid I am. Okay. Before I get to my top 5 at 5 Milwaukee weather, it is now 43 degrees, cloudy. The high today was 45. The low tonight is 42. But with the wind at 16 miles an hour, and a southwesterly wind, it feels like 35 degrees. 35 degrees, like an 8-degree drop. So if you go outside, you better take a jacket. You better take a jacket. Oh, and by the way, yeah. See, that's answering yourself. I just saw somebody walking through Kyle Wallace, and he was talking to himself. A guy was talking to himself, one of our teammates, Kyle Wallace. And he was like, got to do this. And I'm like, huh? I was like, you're talking to yourself. He was like, yep. Don't answer yourself. I didn't get a reply.
Number 5.
One of my favorite TV shows is back, y'all. I talked about it, and I said it was coming up. We one step closer to seeing a continuation of the beloved sitcom, A Different World. This, or should I say last weekend, multiple outlets reported that Netflix has cast 6 stars who are expected to play series regulars in the spinoff. According to Variety, these actors include, can't say that name, Chimbukum Uche as Kojo, Malia Joy Moon as Deborah, Cornell Young IV as Shaquille, Jordan Aaron Hall as Amir, Alicia Kai as Rashida, and Kennedy McClure as Hazel. Alicia Kai is the daughter of actress and singer Tanisha Arnold. Remember her from Martin? Deadline reports that the A Different World spinoff will follow Dwayne and Whitley's daughter as she goes through her journey at Hillman College, the beloved fictional historically black college. And rumors began to swirl the sequel's development last August in 2024, and reports of a pilot surfaced last month. Now, though Netflix has not officially commented on the news, Debbie Allen, who produced and directed the 1987 sitcom, teased the possibility of a spinoff in an interview with the Griot early this year. Allen said that we don't like to say too much, but I've been working on the reboot of A Different World for many years, and right now it's within reach. So we shall see if it flies. We'll be looking forward to it. I know I will. And speaking of, the folks in it, they may be making a little loot. It'll be on Netflix, so it'll be, a union shoot. And I think, it's not even kinda. I look forward to it.
Number 4.
From CBS 58 News, reports claim in 2024 the RNC generated some good money for the city of Milwaukee. A report commissioned by Milwaukee's Tourism Office and the city's 2024 Republican National Convention host committee found the event generated more than $320 million in spending before and during the event. The report, prepared by Tourism Economics for Visit Milwaukee, concluded the RNC spurred an economic impact of $321.5 million. The total figure includes $161.2 million in what the authors call convention operational spending, which includes money spent to run the convention and ancillary events outside the Fiserv Forum. That spending included payroll, security, insurance, housing, and other professional services. The report also found visitors spent a total of $54.1 million off-site across the Milwaukee area, including hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues. That spending generated a total of $16.8 million in combined state and local taxes spent on expenses related to the convention, and $321.5 million figure far exceeded the $200 million impact officials estimated the RNC would have. Now, spending well beyond the estimated impact would likely come as a surprise to business operators Gary Witt and Adam Siegel, who told CBS 58 last summer that the RNC did not bring any traffic to their business, including Turner Hall, the Pabst Theater, and in Siegel's case, Lupi and Iris. According to the report, the industries that benefited most from the RNC-related spending included a wide range category labeled business services, which raked in $73.4 million. Financial, insurance you had to pay, real estate business combined to bring in $61.2 million, And government agencies collected $50.6 million. Now, lodging, if you had a house and you were able to open up your house for Airbnb or something to that nature. Lodging businesses, hotels, hospitality, $39.7 million, while food and beverage vendors like 3rd Street Market Hall, where you should always come visit. That's where our studios are for Good Karma Brands. Took in $23.1 million. So that, I think that is a success. You may not like it because it's Republicans. I don't care. That's tax money going into Milwaukee coffers. And with that, I feel great about it. Now, unfortunately, I have an update to the UW Platteville incident.
Number 3.
This from JS Online. 2 University of Wisconsin Platteville students died in a residence hall incident that a school email describes as a targeted and isolated incident. The university identified the 2 students as Kelsey Martin, 22 of Beloit, and Hallie Helms, 22 of Baraboo. Helms graduated with an elementary education degree just 2 days before the incident, according to a graduation program, and Martin was listed as a psychology graduate in the same program. The school email, which went out shortly after 11 p.m. last night, said the families of the 2 women have been notified. For hours, you may remember I talked about it yesterday and as breaking news, the UW Platteville administrators and law enforcement officials were tight-lipped about the incident that prompted a shelter-in-place order and a large police presence on campus. However, several sources on campus said the shooting apparently had occurred around 4 o'clock at Wilgus Hall, a student residence. Some saw an ambulance at the scene, and emergency dispatcher's audio also appeared to confirm a shooting, though the audio could not be verified. Amanda Sawatsky, 24, was at a drinking fountain on the first floor of Wilgus Hall and heard voices of 2 people fighting in a dorm room down the hall at about 3:20. Sawatsky, who uses the pronoun they, returned to their... Why would you put that in a story? Why would that be germane to this story? Their pronoun. More idiotic reporting. Returned to their room and to work on a senior seminar paper. Then they heard a single loud bang, followed by a muffled sound like something heavy falling on the floor. A criminal justice major who went through the commencement on Saturday, Sawatsky was sure the noise was a gunshot. So I'm going to take a criminal justice graduate who may or may not have heard what a gunshot actually sounds. I don't know. Anyway, from commencement on Saturday to a school shooting on Monday, it's surreal. You think it's never going to happen to you, and then it happens to you. Sawatsky barricaded the door with a chair, fearing a shooter was on the loose in the dorms. A little bit after 5 o'clock p.m., 3 officers knocked on the door, yelling to open up. The officers, who they described as heavily armed, searched the room and escorted Sawatsky out. So that is unfortunate, and thoughts and prayers to the family of both of those girls, regardless of what happened and whose fault it was. And of course, we'll get more information as time moves on, but that is an unfortunate incident, and thoughts and prayers. But then I have a question. How does a 13-year-old die in a bathtub?
Number 2.
This from WISN.com. A Milwaukee woman faces felony charges after her 13-year-old son drowned in a bathtub while being left unattended. Selena Renee Dagzon, Doxzon, 28, was charged with neglecting a child, resulting in death after the May 15th incident at her Northside home. According to the criminal complaint, Dozan left her 13-year-old, oh, I'm sorry, I read it wrong, 13-month. My bad. DJ Brother's looking at me like, how stupid are you? Well, clearly dumber than most. 13-month was left, and 3-year-old son, they were left alone while she was in the kitchen to make breakfast and wash dishes. The water level was filled above the younger baby's belly when seated. Boy, I got that wrong. Approximately 4 minutes later, the 3-year-old walked into the kitchen. When Dozan returned to the bathroom, she found the younger child floating face up and unresponsive. A neighbor assisted with CPR until emergency responders arrived. The child was pronounced dead at Children's Hospital. That is unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. Milwaukee County Examiner preliminarily ruled the cause of death as asphyxiation due to drowning. Pending toxicology results, investigators said she admitted the water level was too high for the child's size and acknowledged that she could not see the bathroom from the kitchen to supervise the children. As Dozon, or Doczone, I don't know how to spell, D-O-Z-X-O-N. Initial court appearance was yesterday, what's today, Tuesday. Commissioner Barry Phillips addressed her and said, this case is obviously sad, it's scary, it's unfortunate, it's senseless. It's sad because, of course, it resulted in a death. It's scary because we know other people probably make this mistake as well, and senseless because it could have been prevented. The Class D felony carries a maximum sentence of 25 years and a $100,000 fine. Phillips ordered her released without bail. However, she cannot have unsupervised contact with children as she awaits her trial. Luckily, Commissioner Barry Phillips, who I know, I think he made a good decision only because it's difficult to punish a person if they cause the death of their child. Like, what exactly could you... Putting this woman in jail for 50 years is not going to alleviate her sadness, her fear, her angst, her hurt of losing her child. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, you can do to take that away. I've never lost a child. God willing, I never will. Hope I go first. But losing a child has got to be the worst thing in your entire life. And I'll be honest with you, I'm only speaking for me. We're not made to bury our children. We are not made to bury our children. And I admit that wholeheartedly. We are not made to bury our children. But let's end on a happy note.
Number 1.
This from WISN.com. 9 former Milwaukee prisoners celebrated an academic milestone yesterday. The men completed 17 credit hours of welding training through Milwaukee Area Technical College to earn their certifications as part of a second chance program between the college and the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. The men each finished their sentences at minimum security facilities, and MATC was the first Wisconsin college to participate in the second chance program. So I say hats off and kudos to MATC. They did a great job. Those that were formerly convicted are now, well, not formerly convicted, but were convicted, are now out, and they are able to make a living. Now, from what I've been hearing from friends of mine who work in the welding industry, they're hurting for business. They're hurting for employees. They need employees bad. And so they went and they got their certificate, and now they'll be able to get a decent paying job that is going to take care of them and their family. So I say congratulations to them. I say job well done. When we come back, we'll see. But when we come back, we're going to do some talking text lines, some chat checks, and see what's going on YouTube.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
I wonder how many of these kids that's running around here, if they tested them for lead, look up lead crisis in different townships and look at the behavior, and then look at what's going on in Milwaukee and match it up. Do your little research. Go get your thumbs. Instead of getting in the comments and arguing with folks, go look up the side effects of a lead poison environment, then watch the news.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Experience some of the most cherished popular music of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound, May 23rd through the 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Byron Stripling will lead the MSO and an exciting trio of vocalists that include Broadway superstar Chester Gregory, Ashley J., and Brick Liam in a musical sojourn of hits made famous by legendary talents such as Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and The Temptations. Songs like My Girl, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and I'm Coming Out will come alive in fun and stylish arrangements that are sure to have you dancing and humming along in your seat. Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound runs May 23rd through the 25th only. So lock up your tickets right now by calling the box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm not singing this one. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number on the talking text in the chat. So earlier, Kyle was talking about reparations and all that other stuff. And whoever, and I kind of know who it is, said people have to take accountability for themselves and learn to evolve and grow past the nonsense. People don't want reparations because they need the excuse to be passive. Who told you you were in a, and then something, and then whatever. What's up, Curly Q? Happy afternoon to you too. Good afternoon. What's up, Mal? Mal's up in here early. And then that same person said, are we afraid to talk about these things because of growth and development? We might become strong enough to stand up for ourselves. Excuse me. What makes you think black people aren't strong enough to stand up for themselves right now? We stood up for stuff that was, in my estimation, and because you haven't been alive long enough, you may not know, way worse than this. And I've heard people say, oh my God, we've never had it this bad. They said that in the 2000s. the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and the 50s. Now, if you grew up in the 40s and 50s and 60s, it was pretty bad. It was very, very bad. And we didn't have any of the protections that we have now. So because some people are dusting up some stuff and they're going to be gone in 3 years and 3.5 years, y'all need to just kind of, hunker in, hunker down, and wait for the change. Now, the problem is when Democrats get in, we don't ask for anything. I don't want your reparations. I don't want your money because I don't want you to tell me what to do with it. That is part of the problem. When people give you money, they can tell you what to do with it. I say no. I say keep your money. If you want to lower my taxes, I'll work with that. But I don't want any of your money. I want to be able to do what I want to do with whatever I want to do. What's up, Curly Q? Kawanda Dukes, what's going on? Sincere Ronnie Ray Real said, I still need and want my reparations and then some. Can I help you with something? You ready? You're not getting them. So I don't know why you're tripping. You're not getting them. The argument white people make is, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Even though the numbers show that black people would be significantly equal to white people in terms of economics, wealth, business, everything, education, had we simply been given the opportunity that was promised. What's up, Reginald? How you doing? I'm good. Reginald said, aptly put, Doctor, I have seen incompetence promoted on many occasions, and it's nauseating. It happens everywhere. White people promote incompetent people. Black people promote and hire incompetent people. And can I just say something? Because I see I got to make another list for words that we probably should stop using. The knucklehead reporter that put pronouns in a story that made absolutely no sense, that's just weird to me. Like, why would I care about your pronouns? That is what you call you. I just won't refer to you. Just like you may not like black or African American. I'm perfectly fine with what you don't like. But that was just weird to put pronouns in. Anyway. So then we come to unhoused. What does that mean? You mean homeless? Unhoused. Like where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? That's just weird. That's just weird. Let me see what else. What's Reggio talking about? Jumped, building because of line. Okay. So now they having a private conversation. Y'all need to y'all need to be talking about me. Having your private conversations on here, like, anyway. What's up, Lana? Banana. You okay? You doing good? I saw your text the other day. Your quote unquote private text. Doing good. Reginald said, I am relaxing with this lovely free range beef. That's another word, free range. Who cares whether or not a cow roamed in the cow? Well, the cow feels good, and if the cow, look, just because you roam and you feel good, that's fine. But don't think a cow tastes better because they roam. Like what? You need to take your gates down because you're obstructing the cow. What? You're abusing the cow. Let the chickens roam free, and then the eggs will taste better. How do you even know? Like what do you do when you? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get a range-free egg, and then I'm gonna get a regular egg, and we're gonna see which one cooks better. Like, what are we testing? Does it cook better? Does it taste better? Do you use olive oil or vegetable oil? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing? Makes absolutely no sense. Not really a city girl. See, I got that right. I'm listening to Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken and my fellow Truth Nationers. What's up, Tanya? How's it going? Truth in the afternoon at the dinner table with Dr. Ken. Reginald, go somewhere and sit down. You was talking about that beef ridiculousness. Ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. But absolutely, Curly Q, I agree with you. Lana Banana, hope everything is working out with family. You know, sometimes it can be tough. Y'all know how it can be, but make sure you hang in there. Take care of family because, you know, family comes first. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple things, but we got to squeeze it in because, you know, I'll be running out of time. And it's all Glenn's fault because Glenn doesn't go, hey, play the commercial. You know, they're like, okay. Right? Because he's the traffic cop, right? Okay. It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, there's no better time. It's cold outside. Feels like 35 degrees. If you got a wind, it's time to upgrade your windows and doors right now because Pella's offering up to 6 years with 0% financing. You can set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They listen to your vision. My vision is either warmth when it's cold outside like now or heat or coolness when it's hot outside. That's all. They'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st. So visit PellaWI.com today. That's PellaWI.com today. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Dealing with two lanes blocked, the two left lanes blocked on eastbound 94, right about at 20th Street, where we're seeing an accident, and that's got things backed up all the way back to 84th Street. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound side slowing down from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, cloudy, more showers, breezy with a low of 46. Tomorrow, cloudy, breezy, and showers, cool with a high of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
As I reflect on my journey, I'm reminded of God's blessings and guidance. I've been fortunate enough to accomplish some remarkable feats, including walking 750 miles from Milwaukee to Washington, D.C. in honor of the Civil Rights Movement. I also walked against violence from Milwaukee to Chicago and back for 7 consecutive years. My feet are still recovering, but my spirit remains strong. I've been privileged to advocate for victims of police brutality, search for missing persons, and participate in numerous protests. Last year, I was honored to visit the White House with my colleagues from 1017 The Truth to discuss pressing issues in the Black community with the Biden administration. Throughout my broadcasting career, I've received several first-place Wisconsin Broadcast Association awards for The Tory Lowe Show. I've also had the opportunity to be part of ESPN 94.5's Packer pregame show at Lambeau Field. As I look back, I am grateful for the incredible journey Salute to my brothers and sisters on the front lines. And thank you for your tireless efforts and dedication. We're in this together, and I could not have done anything without the love and support of my community. I want to remind you to keep pushing forward, stay vigilant, keep your head on a swivel. Green don't always mean go, and look both ways before you cross the street. And always look out for one another. In 2025, we still got a lot of work to do. God bless you, and I love you.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers winning their second game in a row on Monday night in Game 1 of their three-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. This one by a final score of 5-4.
The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. It'll sneak into center field. A base hit for Contreras. Streaking around third is Terang, and the Brewers lead it 5-4 here in the 8th.
With the win, the Brewers improved to 23-25 on their season. Next up is Game 2 this evening. First pitch is set for 6:40. Over to the NBA, where Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is set to take place, tipping off at 7:30. It's the Timberwolves visiting the Oklahoma City Thunder. And lastly, over to the NFL, where a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 LA Olympics is expected to pass Tuesday's league meeting in Minneapolis. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017, and that's the number. 833-212-1017 is the number. What's up? Is it raining? Is it raining everywhere? It seems like it's raining everywhere. Rain. They said the city is going to get 2 inches today. Probably got more. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, I was looking at this story, and I was just wondering what's going on. 2/3, this is from JS Online, 2/3 of the Milwaukee Common Council say they are opposed to the police department's hopes to acquire facial recognition technology, citing concerns over potential bias and federal overreach concerns. 11 of the 15 aldermen changed the state constitution and the city charter, and then we can do that. Okay. Signed into a letter May 14th opposing use of facial recognition technology by the MPD, which does not currently have an agreement in place for use of the technology. The letter addressed to Police Chief Jeffrey Norman follows department officials announcing at an April city meeting their previous testing of the technology, its possible benefits, and the proposal for officially acquiring it, trading 2.5 million mugshots for free use. We write in strong opposition to the deployment of facial recognition, this is what the letter said, technology by the department, the Milwaukee Police Department. While we understand the desire to enhance public safety and the promises people have made for this emerging technology, we believe these benefits are significantly outweighed by the risks. Cavalier Johnson is supportive of the thoughtful application of facial recognition by law enforcement, spokesperson Jeff Fleming said in a May 16th email. He also wrote, facial recognition, when used along with other investigative techniques, can make Milwaukee safer. But there are significant issues with technology and the algorithm that's written to use facial recognition. So they have to make sure They have to make sure that when it's used, it's only used in limited instances, right? But if you go to say Great Britain, who doesn't have guns, right? They don't, you use a gun in Great Britain, you're going to prison for 10 years, right? Possession, you might still do 10 years. So illegal possession. So all those things play a part. Many of our laws would have to change if we're going to use facial recognition, because facial recognition can be wrong. It was wrong. I think down south they had 2 instances where a person was flagged in facial recognition in Texas, and they were like in Florida. They lived in Texas, but they were in Florida, and they were like, look, I'm not there. Like, I'm literally not there. I can prove it. And they still sent somebody to go arrest the person based on facial recognition. So I get it. But I'm kind of in agreement with City Council. Absolutely not. I think facial recognition can be used when you come into a building for security. If I walk into a building, watch this. Don't we use facial recognition for TSA? And then they get rid of the picture? Why is that? Because your driver's license is already in there. FBI has access, Homeland Security has access to everybody's driver's license. When I went here for the RNC and had to check in, everybody had to already be cleared. Everybody's picture they already had. Everybody's fingerprints they already had. Everybody's, if you had a passport, they probably had access to that too because they're Homeland Security. And because I'm already in the system, I'm not doing anything. They got me coming and going. Walk into a federal building, it pops up with your driver's license. Boop, here's who it is. Look, it's Kenneth Harris. So I get it. I understand. If it's used for security, I can come in a building, my name pops up, my ID checks, you can go through. Because I verified you through facial recognition. Being in the street and identifying criminals off some grainy video? Absolutely not. So I don't agree with that. What do you think? 833-212-1017 is the number. Do you agree with the city council members that there should be responsible use, or do you say absolutely not, or do you say I don't really know enough about it? I don't know. Me personally, I'm still torn. I want to know what you think. I want to know. And let me also say, my stumbling, I'm a little under the weather. Okay, that's not true. I'm a lot under the weather. So it's been tough the last 2, 3, 4 days of being on the radio. So it's kind of tough. So y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Hang in there. I'm in there. But the Common Council said no. Again. Like they always do. Seemingly about everything. So are you making it race, or what are you making? And the people we might catch using facial recognition, we can't catch because there's something negative about it. But this is the same group that didn't want us to use pepper spray because they didn't like pepper spray, how it made pepper. So wait a minute. So let me see. You have a firearm, you have a baton, you have a taser, and you have pepper spray. And then I have my fists and my feet. So which one do we get rid of? Because what happens is when you take away things, well, we don't like pepper spray, so you should get rid of it. We need to have the police chief ban the use of pepper spray because you didn't like it. Because the poor people complained that they got sprayed because they were rioting at District 5. But now I don't have a tool to use, so now I have to go straight to taser. Then you're going to get mad about taser, then you got to get rid of tasers. Then I'll have a baton, and then I don't have a baton. Well, you can't use the baton because we don't like you use the baton. So then it'll go to hands and fists. Then you don't like people getting punched, elbowed, kneed, and kicked. So all that's left is a firearm. That puts us back where we were before. The whole point of it is to be less lethal. So if an officer does make a mistake, does violate your civil rights, they don't kill you. But yet we're worried about facial recognition. I get it. The technology is bad, and Netflix had a very, very good documentary on how the algorithm that's in facial recognition is written mostly by white people. So the attributes they put in it don't fit black and darker Hispanic or Asians, like people from India, natives of Hawaii. So it might have a deleterious effect on arrests. Now, if you want the city to pay more money by putting more people in jail, we could do that. We could easily do that because that is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get sued. You're going to lose. You end up having to put more money in the coffers. And if you think your taxes are bad now, you just wait. 833-212-1017 is the number. From CNN Sports, Angel Reese, we talked about it the other day, about the investigation into the alleged abuse aimed at her as a Chicago Sky player and the way the league and her team has had her back. Well, she praised them. She praised the WNBA. WNBA said it was investigating reports of abuse. We talked about that the other day, directed toward the second-year forward during Chicago's loss to the Indiana Fever last Saturday. She said, obviously, there's no place for this in the league. I think the WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. Reese said that she had received support from many people across the league following the incident and during the process of the investigation. She said, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment, it is hard to hear, but my support system is great, the 23-year-old added. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having the support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something I couldn't imagine not being a part of. Chicago Sky coach Tyler Marsh gave credit to Reese on how she's dealt with the process. She's handling it great. I mean, for her, it's about basketball, so I think that's where her mind is at. And for us, we want to be as locked in as possible to our game plan and what we want to do moving forward into Thursday. I mean, he added this. I mean, Angel's a winner, Angel's a competitor, and she wants to be there for her teammates, and we're certainly there for her. So she may as well get used to it. Indiana star guard Caitlin Clark issued a similar message after a Fever practice on Monday and said, there's no place for that in our game. There's no place for that in society. Of course, they had to add in that she was a 2024 Rookie of the Year, whatever. Certainly, we want every person who comes into our arena, whether player or fan, to have a great experience. I appreciate the league doing that. The investigation, she means. I appreciate that the Fever organization has been at the forefront of that since day one. The investigation will leave up to them to find anything and take proper action if so. What do you mean if so? If so? If so? What does that even mean? If so. Because I'm going to leave room just in case, she made it up. Anyway. Am I being defensive? Am I being defensive? I don't know. Let me see. I got time for two quick stories. This also from CNN Politics. So, nope, I'm not going to do this one. I'm not going to do that story. I am going to do the story from, so what would you do if you were threatened? The jail worker claims, this from Fox News, that inmates threatened to shank him during the Orleans Parish escape. That's in a report. So the Orleans Parish jail maintenance worker arrested in connection with the escape of 10 inmates from that jail last Friday reportedly said he was threatened with violence by the escapee before helping them get loose. Sterling Williams, 33, an employee of the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, has been arrested and charged with 10 counts of principal to simple escape and malfeasance in office. Murrell is the Attorney General, said that Williams turned off the water in the cell they escaped from and instead of reporting the inmates he helped them. However, according to Associated Press, Williams claimed in his arrest affidavit that the escapees threatened to shank him if he didn't aid them in their breakout. He reportedly told police that one of the escaped inmates tried to take his phone and get him to bring a book with Cash App information. And so why exactly did they arrest him? Interesting.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that story of all those white Afrikaners who came here. So they're reporting on BBC that they weren't being persecuted. They changed the law, but when you remember, the Dutch went there and basically took everything, took all the minerals, took all the land, jacked all the black people there, and then now they pretend like they're the victims. But that's what always happens. There's 62 million South Africaners, of which roughly 81, 87%, something like that, are black. 59 came here. So if you think if a country was doing that out of 4.5 million white South Africaners, making up 7.9% of the population, would you get more than 59? They'd have been rolling out of there like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. And they weren't. Why? Because Elon Musk is South African, and yeah. But yeah, we wonder how he became a trillionaire or a billionaire. Okay. Anyway, You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next, and I'll be back in 22 hours. Want to say thank you to each and every one of you on the talk and text line and the YouTube chat. Even though y'all don't be talking to me or saying nothing to me, I feel bad, but thank you. I'll try to feel better. Not really a city girl. See, I didn't get your name wrong that time. Last time I said not really a girl. Oops. Boy, she told me on the chat, hey, you better watch your mouth. I'm going to come down there. She didn't say that, but I thought I'd say that. Hey, God bless. Take care. Thank you. Glenn, I'm out.